Thanks for tuning in to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. Here you'll find tips, insight, and information to help your music and your ministry succeed. Whether you're a singer, a musician, or a songwriter, we want to help you where you are, but we also want to help you get to where you want to go. We believe that our talents are God's gift to us, but what we do with those are our gift back to God. Yesterday's information is important, but what we can learn today will make this the best day yet. Hello, Rob Novell here with the Charles Novell School of Music. Just want to remind you about CNS 24 happening July 14th through the 20th at Murray State University in Murray, Kentucky. CNS is a place for you to take your music and your ministry to the next level. It allows you to ask the right people the right questions to get the right answers. For more information, visit us online at www.cnsmusic.com. Hey, welcome back to the CNS podcast, The Best Day Yet. Hope this finds everybody doing well. I know I say this a lot, but it comes from the heart. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule, especially right now, to tune into an episode of CNS Podcast, The Best Day Yet. We love doing these. We love sharing with you, and I love the feedback that I get. I'm glad that these are making an impact, a difference, and helping you at times through your life, but definitely through your music and through your ministry. And man, I hope this finds everybody alive and well. We are 2 weeks away from Christmas, so I understand the hustle and bustle and the craziness of schedules. And y'all, we'll talk today. I burn the candle at both ends, but I found a way to cut it in half. It's burning from four ends, front and back of each half that I cut this schedule in half. But no, there's so much going on. And, man, it's also such a great time of year. And I love all of the holiday things, all of, they're 2 months out of the year. June, and it's my own month of Thanksgiving to Christmas. I just lump in that 30-day or so 4-week period. There's no way around it. It's just going to be those 2 times of Rob's 12 months are going to be the busiest. There's nothing that I can do to change the craziness of those 2 times a year for me. It is what it is. We can do this. The last couple episodes of the podcast, I can not let my thoughts control those 2 periods of my life. I can also change my perspective, as we talked last week, on those 2 areas. But man, so much exciting things going on. We'll get a little deeper into maybe what maybe I'm so raring to go today that I'm just trying to jump in too soon and not properly greet you. But again, hope everybody's getting everything they need to get done. We're 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from Christmas. I know me. This is the last week of the craziness that is Thanksgiving to Christmas season of my life. On the 17th, I am kind of hitting the pause button. I get to check off all the boxes. Everything that needed to be accomplished will be accomplished. And then I can really, really lock in and just enjoy some downtime, enjoy some family time, and truly, truly, truly enjoy Christmas with my family. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Today's topic, we're going to talk a little bit. We'll probably come back to the last couple previous episodes. I said this last week. Last week's episode and the week before weren't necessarily connected, but they are connected, and they probably even tie into where we're going today with things. We're talking about prioritizing our efforts. Prioritizing our efforts in life. I think even now, with backing up again just to the holiday season, I think we need to prioritize the efforts that we put into the hustle and bustle of this time of year. I have recently not recently. I've been here for a while, But just recently, I've had to change my perspective. Look at me. I learned when through these podcasts as well. I've had to recently change my perspective on something I've known for a while. I saw last week, social media, probably at the end of the day, maybe the worst thing that was ever invented. I saw a post last week about the worst Christmas song ever written and convince them it wasn't Christmas Shoes. They may not be wrong with that. I tend to agree a little bit there, but I saw a post last week that said they were attacking Christians for celebrating Christmas. I'm sorry. Just hearing it come out of my mouth is hilarious. Here was the context of their point. Easter is more important than Christmas. I just don't get that. I don't get it at all. Y'all, we don't have Easter if we don't have Christmas. Last I checked, it takes a birth first to lead to the death and then the resurrection. I mean, it wasn't like, I don't think the story of Christ is born and resurrected. There's a sequence, a pattern that has to be followed. And man, I think we could prioritize our efforts within this holiday season of, I think maybe the point was there is too much for this individual. There is too much maybe secularism. Y'all look it up and email me at info@cnsmusic.com. Tell me how to say that word. Too much traditional side. Or seasonal side, I'm sorry, of the Christmas season, and not enough traditional side of things for them. You all, I love Santa Claus. I said it out loud. If you unsubscribe from our podcast because I said that, man, I love you. I wish you the best. Ho, ho, ho. There you go, go. Be gone. No, I'm joking. Yo, I'm tired. So I don't know what might happen over the next 20 some minutes here, but there is nothing wrong with us enjoying the holiday season. However, with our title today, I think we need to prioritize our efforts. Obviously, the reason for the season is the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. That's what Christmas point blank is all about. That's how I was raised. That was the priorities in the Novell household as I was brought up. But we also had Santa Claus and traditional seasonal things in addition to the traditional side of Christmas. So, but I think it is important to prioritize our efforts. And we're going to talk about that in relation to our music and to our ministries today as we go. So lots been going on. I mentioned a crazy time of year, a lot going on in Rob's life. I gave you that deadline. I'm striving for the 17th. After that, then you know what? Rob can breathe a little bit, getting some deadlines behind me and just taking some time off. But man, I've really had to do just this over the last little bit. I've had to prioritize my efforts. I've had to change some thoughts. I've had to change some perspectives on the workload, the schedule, the to-do list, whatever you want to call it. There's been a lot going on. I've had 9 Christmas concerts that I had to do this season. 3 recitals. My last recital is tomorrow. Another item we can check off the list. Excited about tomorrow. It's in combination, my students and my daughter Aaliyah's students at North Metro School of Music here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Excited to do a recital with my daughter tomorrow night. So that's the last one. And all 3 of those are behind me, 42 students. We've checked those things off. But I still have, I head out at the end of the week. I had an amazing weekend this past weekend. James Rainey, one of our instructors at the Charles Novell School of Music, just an amazing pianist. He's played for so many groups over the years, the Greens, the Singing Americans, the Hoppers, the Blackwoods. Man, I could go on and on. He's currently out with Jonathan Wilburn, and just such a gifted player. And man, I got a call a while back, and he asked me if I would come to. It started. Would I come to his home church there in Bellevue, Illinois, outside of St. Louis, and do a Christmas concert with him? That we would kind of do a dueling piano Christmas thing. And man, I was so excited for that opportunity. We're going to talk today about doors and God opening doors and how that kind of works in this whole effort, perspective, our thoughts, and how we approach things. So I said, yes, man, I'll come up. I would love to be part of it. And then that turned in, he called me back, and he said, hey, on the backside of that, I could book us a Christmas tour for 4 days through North and South Carolina. Would you be interested in that? And I, of course, said yes. You don't get the opportunity to play along someone of that caliber that often. So absolutely, I want to be part of that. Not only from the musical side of it, but man, I love James. He's a great friend, and I'm looking forward to getting out on the road and spending some time with him personally. But then again, us making some music together and us combining our gifts to give back to God and to encourage and uplift and minister to people over this next weekend. So went up to St. Louis over the weekend, and we had talked, and he had got me some songs that I needed to be working on last week. And so a lot we're going to talk today is practice. A lot we're going to talk today is preparation. A lot we're going to talk today in our effort is readiness, just being prepared, being ready to go. So he gave me a list of things, and man, last week I had 2 recitals with 30 students. I had 42 students I had to teach. I had a couple recording things last week. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I run a school of music. I had a lot happening last week. So I literally had to prioritize my practice around my schedule to accomplish what I needed to do. Man, I was raised by the ultimate bar setter, someone that just encouraged me, Robbie, when you do what you do musically, when you go out and you minister, do it to the best of your ability. Put all of your effort and energy into what you do. Don't just go through the motions. Just don't, wing it. Be prepared, be ready to go, do what you do with excellence. And, that's translated because it was for 58 years as my father ran the school. That continues now. That's part of our mission statement with the Charles Novell School of Music. We're trying to encourage you through these weekly podcasts how you can maximize your effort and do what you do unto God with excellence. Man, back to that Easter story. When I reflect on the Easter story, and over the last 20 years, my perspective on Easter has changed. As a kid, you hear what God did, and He sent His Son, and He died on a cross so we could have eternal salvation. And as that is instilled in us, as children by our parents and our Sunday school teachers and our pastors and then our youth pastors and, on down the line. Obviously that story has significance to us, but as becoming a parent and over the last 20 some, odd years raising 2 children, the fact that God gave a child to me, a child to you, so we could have the ultimate gift, and that's our salvation. We could live in eternity with Him, because through His Son, He provided that bridge that would get us from here to there. Becoming a parent and realizing the love I have for my kids and the cost that would be involved in giving up one of my kids, man, it made me realize exactly how big of a gift that God gave us was. How he at any point he could have stopped, but he didn't. He went all the way. He gave us excellence. So he deserves excellence back from us in return. So I dive in, I start working, and I'm getting these songs up. And you guys know I'm transparent on these things. There's absolutely no reason for me not to be. So I worked, I put the time in, what time I could, and just prioritizing my practice and my efforts with the schedule last week. But when I got on that plane, I was a little nervous to go up there because, again, I want to do my best, first and foremost for God. But James is bringing me up there. I want it to be good for James as well. So, I was a little nervous getting there. We got there. We had a practice Saturday night. Man, just an amazing time of hanging out, fellowship, making some music, going over the game plan, getting kind of checking off, here's what we do here and when and why, and getting a set list and a program, all that lined up together. And you know what? That's when I could kind of breathe. And when I had a good visual of what we were doing, I didn't want to go up there and not give my best effort. I felt like though I wasn't able to, just from the lack of time that I had to prepare. So getting there and going through that allowed me to realize, you know what, God was allowing me to prepare. We've talked about this. We play like we practice, but we practice like we prepare. Even when I maybe physically couldn't be at a piano last week, man, I'm thinking of what I'm doing as I'm playing these songs. I'm listening to the tracks that James sent me and just trying to get those locked into my head. The plane flight up to St. Louis. Man, I'm listening to tracks. I'm looking at charts and notes and manuscript that I had written just to, that's practice. I'm not at a piano, but I'm able to put forth an effort. I could have watched a movie or anything, and what they provide you there on the plane. Now, coming home was different. I watched football on that airplane at 32,000 feet coming home from St. Louis last night. But being there and going there, I was using that time to go ahead and practice and put as much preparation as I could because of effort. I think God smiles when we simply try. Just simply try. We talk, I mentioned doors earlier. Man, as I've been in ministry in Atlanta for the last 18 years, numerous times I've had people ask me or tell me, Rob, I'm waiting on God to open that door for me. And you've heard that. You've probably said that. One thing that I've realized over the last 18 years in this ministry position is there are times that people are waiting on doors that are closed and locked from the beginning, but their lack of prioritizing effort to see if that door is locked or unlocked has them waiting. Nothing is worse than the waiting game. Nothing is worse than sitting in that waiting room, waiting for an update. So as what I've learned is faith is an action word, y'all. Faith means we put some effort in. I believe in it this way. If there's 1,000 steps between us and our breakthrough, God will take 999 of them as long as we take the first one. But that's effort. That's us doing our part. So I think when you're waiting on a door to open, man, you may need to get up and take that one step of faith. Put your hand on the doorknob and jiggle it. That door may be locked the entire time. We never know unless we reach out and we try. So as we're waiting on doors to open, Revelations 3:20 says, "Here I am, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hear my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with him and he with me." What does that say? If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, you got to take a step forward. You got to take a step forward to fulfill that scripture and to open the door. Revelations 3:8. I know your deeds. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. When it comes to doors, you all, our effort, our prioritizing our effort, our changing our thought process, our changing our perspective on things allows God to open doors for us that no man can shut. No man can shut. So excited about what James and I did Sunday in Illinois. So excited about what we get to go out on the road and do together this week. Those are open doors. Those are doors that God has opened for Rob right now. Those are doors that God's opened for James. And those are doors he's opened for us together to go out and to accomplish things that are pleasing unto him. When I've shared the story, as we started to see growth a couple years back with the school, before Jeff Stice had passed away, we were talking one day and I'm like, Jeff, school's growing and we're going to need to add piano to our faculty. Who would you suggest? Jeff was my big brother. Jeff was counsel. He was a voice in my life. He was someone that I trusted immensely to speak into me. And when I asked him that question, he responded immediately with 3 names. And the first name was James Rainey. And God used Jeff to open the door to bring James to our staff at the Charleston School of Music. And man, what an addition that has been for our piano side of CNS. And you know, our logo, the CNS, the C is a piano. It's kind of important when we teach voice, we teach songwriting, we teach everything, but really, really important to me to have a good, solid piano staff because of who my dad was and what he accomplished and what God accomplished through him with that very instrument. So open doors, doors opening are a big, big part of what we do through our music and what we do through our ministries. It's that waiting, it's that step of faith to see if that door is open to begin with or has been locked the entire time. We mentioned Revelations 3:20. Jesus talks about standing at the door and knocking. You know what? Replace the word door with your music or your ministry. No, let's do this. Replace it with whatever it is you need in your life. What is it that you're facing maybe right now that you need Jesus to show up and knock at the door? What is it? Is it healing, finances, is it your marriage, your ministry, your music, your ministry, your children, your job? Whatever it is, replace that word door with that subject. Now, Jesus, what he's saying here I am. I stand at your marriage. If you hear me, let me in. I'll have fellowship with you with me. Here I am. I stand at that sickness. I stand at that cancer. If you hear me, I'll let you in and have fellowship with me. What a promise. I stand at your children. I stand at your career. I stand at that new house that you need. I stand at that car situation that you have. I stand at your ministry. I stand at your music. You want new levels? Man, ask him for it. Whatever it is, he's saying, man, I'm here. I'm knocking. If you'll open the door, I'll come in. I'll have fellowship with you. Man, what a promise, you all. All we have to do is let him in. But what I think we overthink the process at times. I think we're afraid to answer the door. Maybe we're afraid to answer the door because maybe we're afraid of seeing who is at the door. I've been gun shy. I've been leery. We've been in Georgia 18 years. God knocked on the door. I answered it. He said, move to Georgia. I did. Y'all, so let me say it this way. I have enjoyed our time here. I am still a transplanted Yankee at heart. Sometimes I don't feel like I belong in the South, but I'm here. I've had to change my thoughts. I've had to change my perspective on things numerous times. But I think at times since then, I've been afraid to answer the door because of what God may tell me to do next. Y'all, we have to trust him. He's saying, look, whatever it is you need, I have it. You just have to let me in. We have to let him in. Revelations 3:8 again. It says he's placed before us an open door that no one can shut. God has a plan for our lives, you all. We just simply, we have to move towards that plan. We have to change our thought process, change our perspective. We have to prioritize our efforts. What is it that we are doing to get there? I'm afraid we could be too passive of people at times and not active enough in this entire process. Again, so many people have said, man, I'm waiting on God to open a door. But in the meantime, I'm watching them sit around and do nothing to move towards that open door. Faith very much, again, it's an action word. We have to move. It's an active word more than, a passive word. I also believe God created and gave us, common sense. In fact, it's got me to where I am today in life. To being completely honest, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, y'all. If you don't believe me, just ask anybody that knows me. You know what? They're going to confirm that. Instead of waiting for God to open a door for us in our lives, I believe we should, we need to get up and move towards the door. Place a hand on the doorknob like we talked earlier, twist it and see if the door is locked or unlocked. People spend too much time waiting on things to happen in their life that God never intended to happen. I believe, we can fix being too passive by understanding our thought process. We have two basic type of thoughts, you all. Number one, we have idle thoughts. Number two, we have determined thoughts. Idle thoughts are those daydreams. They can be fun and even, an escape, but they're not leading us anywhere. Those are idle thoughts. Then we have determined thoughts. Determined thoughts are thoughts with intent that are actually taking us somewhere that we want to go. I think in prioritizing our efforts, we need to move in our thought process. We need to move out of those things that we, those daydream scenarios. Man, it'd be great to do that. Change it to, man, I can't wait till God has me doing that. It's thoughts, it's perspective, it's prioritizing the effort that we put into things. A determined thought versus an idle thought. A determined thought is going to get you inspired to move. And here's how it works. Determined thoughts produce ideas. Those ideas in return produce actions. Those actions combine with our faith in God and trust in His Word. And you know what? The willingness and the tenacity to never, ever give up, that's eventually going to produce reality. So determined thoughts lead to reality if we put faith into action, trust, determination. Let's see this thing through. Too many people have given up on things because, man, it didn't go the way that they thought it was going to go. You don't know what happened to me, Rob. You're right, I don't. But I know the one that does. And I know the one that allowed you to go through that. I know the one that allowed that waiting period in your life. But that's not the end all of everything here. You're not prioritizing your efforts by sitting and, wallowing in my dad would call them pity parties. He's like, Robbie, are you done having your pity party? And man, the older I get, you all, I talked to two students tonight about, they're young, 11 and 13. And I asked them, has your mom or dad or any parent ever told you, hey, you're going to understand things a little differently when you get older? Man, things just simply hit differently the older that we get. When we go through situations and we look in the mirror and we realized that's what my dad, that's what my mom, that's what grandma, that's what grandpa, that's what they meant. That's what they were trying to teach me. Man, determined thoughts, y'all. Stick to things, tenacity. You can't have tenacity. You know what? You can't have faith and you can't have trust in God if something goes wrong and you just park in that and you don't get up and move forward. You know what? I'm calling you. I'm calling them out today. We have to. It's not how many times we get knocked down. It's how many times we get back up, dust ourselves off, and move forward. So our thoughts can lead to our dreams in life. God has allowed me to live several and accomplish several dreams that I've had in life because you know what? I worked hard. I put effort in. I practiced. Big word there, practice. Someone told me that I didn't have to work for where I'm at in my life and maybe my career, my music, my ministry. I didn't have to work to get here. It was just because I'm named Novell. It was just handed to me on a silver platter. That's not true, y'all. Nobody knows how hard Rob's worked any harder than Rob. Well, God. But nobody knows the time that I've put in. So for somebody to tell me that, somebody to tell you that, no. Brush that off. Just get up, move on. Don't sit and have those little pity parties. So our thoughts can lead to dreams in life. God can lead us to those dreams if we keep him first, if we stay focused and keep him centered in our decision process. If we prioritize our efforts based around staying focused on him, keeping him centered in our decisions, then the doors he opened for us, can lead to our dreams. I like to look at it this way, and I think this can help us achieve that in our lives, in our music, and in our ministries. This little thing: believe, say, change, do. Believe, say, change, do. Number 1, believe your dream. Number 2, speak positive words over that dream. Number 3, make the necessary changes needed to get to that dream. Connecting the last 3, this one and the 2 previous CNS Best Day Yet podcast, make necessary changes. We need to change our thought process. We need to change our perspective. We need to change our priorities. Number 3, make the necessary changes. The 4th, start doing what it takes to move from dream to reality. Y'all, if you hear his voice, simply open the door and say yes. And when you do, you're going to find out that that's going to make this your best day yet. Y'all be blessed. Hang on. Christmas is coming. All these deadlines, all these check boxes will be checked off, and we can all stop and enjoy Christmas with our families. Y'all be blessed until we get back together again. Hope this will be your best day yet. Thanks for listening to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under the name the Charles Novell School of Music. And for more information on CNS and our upcoming events, like our online school, our weekend regional sessions, our creative coaching, and our pastor's retreat, you can visit us at our website at www.cnsmusic.com. As you've listened to this episode, we hope that you've gained some information that you can apply to your music and to your ministry to make today the best day yet.